Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Seen motherfucking podcast. And today, as you've seen from the title, we're gonna be talking about freedom. Um, I chose to talk about freedom. I know I have a whole episode on peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. But this direction that we're going with freedom is going to be slightly different. Yes, it's still going to hold in the ideation of what I use as far as freedom with the ability, the capacity to face your consequences. Um, Basically, freedom is the ability to live freely, but be able to deal with the consequences. And for that, freedom is expensive. And the reason why I want to have this conversation is because I recently had this idea. Well, it wasn't really an idea. A thought came to me. And in this thought coming to me, it kind of revealed that uh, a lot of people don't want freedom. They want to stop being oppressed. And I'm learning that me as a person, it's like the conversations are very similar until it's time to implement certain actions. And over the course of the years that, I've been rocking this pro black wave and shit like that, I've caught in, I've caught flack from people who have said things like, you're not like you used to be, or you don't do shit like you used to be, or whatever the case may be. And like you used to always be for the people, and every time to like, but now it's like you're not. Let me explain something to you. For one, as far as being for the people, I'm always for the people. I'm always gonna be for my people. I'm always gonna be, what I'm saying, stand and represent for my people. But at the end of the day, beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, I had to come to terms with the reality that not all of your people want the same thing. And that's okay. And that's okay. But we gotta stop addressing it the same way and making it seem like we want the same thing, because now as a culture, we get on this hamster wheel because we spend so much time trying to achieve something that's not going to be achievable because you have other side off of that. Like they talk about crabs in the barrel, right? The crabs in the barrel, they're gonna pull you back down and blah 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 blah. And it's like it's deeper than that. A lot of people look at the crabs in the barrel as, something negative, and it is, but for the most part, people look at the crabs in the barrel as uh something that can't be fixed, and two, they don't look at it in the full context. A lot of this crabs in the barrel mentality is largely tied to people who want to stop being oppressed but don't want freedom. So they don't want to get out of the barrel, and they don't want your ass out of the barrel either. They just want us to remain in the barrel, but whatever conditions are happening to the barrel that are negatively impacting us, they want us to stop. They don't want to get out of the barrel. They just want the negative shit that's happening to the barrel to stop so we can stay in it. That was something that really hit me, and it changed my perspective and my reality. Over the years, I had to step back and say, you know what? I'm for my people, but in a sense, I can't be in that space where I am my people. Right. And I do fuck with Ubuntu. I am because we are because I am. But I mean, in the grand scheme of it all, I can't hold on to the fact of whatever it is that my people, need. I can't be the one who does it. I can only be the one who catalyzes it, because freedom is expensive as fuck, but freedom is not something that everybody wants. So while we're doing and we're coming to terms with the reality where, oh, I'm doing this for my people. Do your people want what you're doing for them? Really sit down, ask yourself that. A lot of this episode will be a lot of the things that I came to terms with, but it'll be a lot of revelations, a lot of understandings of, this is why we're not getting nowhere. This is why we're not getting nowhere. The reason why we as black people, everybody, I hear this conversation a lot. This is why we ain't getting nowhere as black people as a culture. The reason why we're not getting anywhere as black people as a culture is we don't want to go nowhere collectively. We want to stop being oppressed. We don't want to be free, because to be free means that we now take autonomy onto our own hands, which is accountability and responsibility. We don't, because when you take freedom, to take freedom into your own hands means that now you are responsible for everything. You feel me? There is no more okay, well, what's this going to do for me? Like, these things started to become aware to me, but I just wasn't paying attention to them, like during the elections and all of that shit. Like, people like, yo, you need to vote so your kids can have a future. It's like, what? My kids' future is, for one, in their own hands. They have to control their future, but the preliminary shit is all me. You feel me? And it's like, I know this government is trying to kill me and my people, and I'm gonna put the shit in the government's hands for my people. That shit don't make sense. But it's because everybody doesn't want freedom. Everybody doesn't want freedom. They just want to stop being oppressed. And a motherfucker who doesn't want freedom but wants to stop being oppressed, they will sabotage freedom just so they can stop being oppressed. And that's a motherfucker that'll fuck up the entire plan. And those are the motherfuckers who have fucked up the entire plan through every movement that we have. But before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_seen_ _ Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not this episode, but the podcast itself. And as always, Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And you know the vibes. That's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into freedom. I don't know what the subtitle is yet. Freedom. I don't know. I have a subtitle. Apparently, the subtitle is up. As of right now, I don't have one. So we're going to dive into freedom, whatever the hell I titled the subtitle as. And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So For Real series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. And first off, before I dive heavy into this episode, before I just start rolling, let me first apologize. Like, my bad. Like 2 weeks, like y'all haven't had anything in 2 weeks, and that's on me. I've been working and finalizing things and trying to, because my 33rd birthday is very, very important to me. I haven't celebrated a birthday in 7 years. My 33rd birthday is going to be very important to me, so I want to make sure everything was on point. So when that day comes, that week comes, I'm living. Like I'm living and I'm not worried about anything. And that's, lately that's been what's been going on. I've been having to switch merch stores, different things. There's been a lot behind these things that y'all haven't seen. And I felt like sacrificing those 2 weeks. I wasn't intentional, but I wasn't mad when I did. But I did want to apologize because, consistently I've been giving y'all Wednesday and Saturday and 2 weeks back to back. That's not like me. And it definitely transitioned into other things as far as Iwi as well. I haven't been 100% on point with them. But I'm apologizing for that because, certain things are, they hit a certain different way. But I just want to apologize, and we're going to dive straight heavy into this episode now. So anyway, freedom. First off, freedom is the most expensive thing that you can have. See, it's the most expensive thing that you can ever acquire. Right. So let's check out what freedom actually means. I'm not going to break it down etymologically. I don't want to go through that process as I always do, but I'm going to use a quick similar parallelism. Like when we look at things that end in DOM, like, kingdoms and shit like that, we know that those are places of domain. Right. So the kingdom is the domain of the king. You feel me? The queendom will be the domain of the queen. So when it has the dumb in it, it has, shows you the domain of the entity that's, precedes it, right? So when we look at freedom, that is a space, there's a place, right? A domain where you are free, unbound, no restraints, nothing holds you. That is a place. So if this is a place that it's a domain that you dwell in, right? That means that it needs upkeep, right? The kingdom Even if we look at it just from a chessboard's perspective, a kingdom has certain pieces and delegated spaces that keep the kingdom functioning. You don't think that's applying to freedom? You feel me? Freedom has certain things that you have to continually do to keep the freedom. That's where the problem comes in. People don't want to be free. They want to stop being oppressed. When you're stop being, it's like, I'm still here. Just stop beating me up. You feel me? Do all of the other shit you do. Just don't hurt me. Don't inflict it on me anymore. See, one of the things that we have to realize is that our freedom is always going to come at a very high price. And you're going to have to continue paying that price out in order to remain free. Right? So in order to have freedom, a domain in which you dwell with no restrictions, you have to put yourself in a position where you can do that. That was something that I had to come to terms with a long time ago. And when I'm saying a long time ago, I'm speaking experiential wise, but this was probably about 3 or 4 years ago where I had to actually come to terms wise. When I say experiential because experience within 4 years, there's a lot of things that have accumulated. But over the time I watched it, I was like, motherfuckers don't want to be free. Motherfuckers really don't want to be free. I started, and I really, really learned this before I did a one-on-one session with somebody, and you feel me? They weren't trying to learn the material. They were just trying to get the right trade, just trying to get me to tell them what the right trade was, and find a like. No, there was none of that. But I was like, this person's talking about, yo, I trusted you with my financial freedom. You trusted me with the domain that you're supposed to be dwelling in. I can operate my domain. You feel me? Because it's mine. I can't operate your domain for you. But a lot of people want that. And I personally feel like it's a childish thing. Like I feel like a lot of people who are in that space, they don't want to stop being children either. Because nobody wants to have the accountability and responsibility, right? Of taking care of themselves, which is sad. And I'm saying that on the strength that if you want certain things, you have to be aware of certain things. You feel what I'm saying? I was having a conversation with an old head one time, and they said they want to be free from the medication that they take. This is why I'm talking about freedom is expensive because you got to deal with what comes with that in order to be free. So to be free from the medicines that they're on, that means that they have to do the opposite of what put them on the medicines, correct? 9 times out of 10, the medicines that they're on is tied to the food that they eat. You feel me? Freedom. It's the domain freedom is the domain that you reside in, unrestricted, right? So to live and thrive in a free domain and to live in the freedom of not needing medicine means that you have to continually keep your body in a healthy state. You feel what I'm saying? You have to continually keep your body in a healthy state. You have to continually work out. You have to eat the right shit. You have to put the right shit in your body. Deeper than that, you have to know what goes into it. So when I tell people the freedom of not needing, to be on medicines or no shit like that requires a lot. You need to know your anatomy and your physiology. You need to know hormone regulation, right? You need to know the food that your body needs, the 7 things your body needs to have in it to function optimally. You need to know the mineral relativity, so your body can be in a certain state to absorb all minerals. There's a lot to have to be free from something. You feel me? In order to be free from something means that you have to put in a whole bunch of work in order for that shit to manifest itself, right? Because it has to tip a scale. It has to be some kind of balance. For you to do absolutely nothing, you have to do absolutely everything. You feel me? Or I'll even expand it. For you to do absolutely nothing forever, you have to do absolutely everything for a small amount of time, or for all the time for a small amount of time, right? When I talk about the things that I've done entrepreneurially, right, in a way that I put like to see it now is different than the work that had to go into the shit. You feel me? Part of why the last 2 weeks haven't given you guys that's 4 episodes you haven't gotten, but in the last 2 weeks because it was the bigger picture for me. It's like fuck these 2 weeks, bro. Respectfully, fuck these 2 weeks to the bigger picture because these 2 weeks were a part of giving me more time. You dig what I'm saying? More freedom, you know, and tying time to freedom. I feel like time and freedom go hand in hand because freedom allows you to utilize your time to the utmost capacity. You feel what I'm saying? But like I said, it requires you to do something that other motherfuckers ain't gonna do. Right. So now when we tie this back into the battle, some motherfuckers don't want to be free. They just want to stop being oppressed. You feel me? They don't want to. mm. For example, when it comes to day trading and investing, right? I know a lot of people who want to make money, but they want to just they get into make the money, not to learn the process of how the money is made. Excuse me. Not to learn the process of how the money is made. See, me, I teach and I've learned the process of how the money is made in the markets. So it's like the money is going to be made by default when you understand, when you move with the process of how the money is made. But it takes a level of freedom to do that. In gaining your freedom, you'll take far more losses than anything. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people just want to stop being oppressed. They don't want to be free because this war, this battle that we're in is hard to fight because you need resources. The greatest resource that you need is money. I was listening to Rick Ross's Mastermind. It was like, yo, you can't go to war with money without money. Everybody says that you can't go to war without money. This is not even just the physical war with the guns and shit, but like any war, to any kind of opposition, you gotta have the resources to do it. Freedom is what grants you those resources because in developing your freedom, you're accumulating the resources that are gonna make you free. You see what I'm saying? But when you're not in control of any resource whatsoever, you're doomed to be a slave. Right. And I think what people have come to terms with is that there's no way out of the slavery. So just don't oppress me. I don't want to be free because I don't feel like there's a way out of the freedom. I don't feel like there's a way to freedom. So I just don't want to be oppressed anymore. So now when we had this conversation coming together, like this is something that I witnessed over the last couple of years within the conscious community and shit. It starts off everybody, we need to unplug. We need to do for ourselves. We need to do this and we need to do this. I was with it. I never forget in 2015, 2016, when that shit was popping off for my era, where everybody was getting into it shit. I was with it. But then I started to see a lot of people really ain't, they just talking. They don't really want to do this shit. I watched over the last couple of years, I watched myself just achieve a lot of the things that I said I was going to achieve. And I watched the people that started off with me not move an inch from all of the shit that they talked about wanting to be free, wanting to be sovereign, wanting to correct their statuses and all of this other shit. No action was made. So it's like in the conversation, it's like, yeah, we want this. And I can tell who's who based off of how we respond to certain shit in the media. You feel what I'm saying? I just seen a post the other day, yesterday, matter of fact, the time of this recording. Um, Father or mother, I don't know who it was. I don't know who's on the other side of the camera. But as they're recording their son. They were like, yeah, he goes to an all Jewish school. Black kid goes to an all Jewish school. And in going to this all Jewish school, they're picking on him. They fucking with him. So for Black History Month, he decides to wear kufi and a dashiki. I'm like, so the people in the comments are, cheering and, oh, yeah, go King. That's what, don't let them do this. It's like, yo, see, here we are again. We're not trying to be free. We're trying to stop oppression. This is something that I need every Black person or every person who wants to be pro-Black or every person who wants to try to liberate their people, understand this concept. I don't think it's talked about much. This is how COINTELPRO is able to work because COINTELPRO, when they infiltrate, they don't infiltrate with a spy who's looking at somebody who's gonna, you know, um bring it down because how they able to infiltrate because they prey on somebody who doesn't want to be oppressed versus somebody who wants to be free. You dig what I'm saying? They don't come for the people who want to be free. They go for the people who don't want to be oppressed. And they use those people who don't want to be oppressed to use the same language to infiltrate and destroy and bring the shit down. This is what I mean by, if you're in the space where you're trying to collaborate with somebody who just doesn't want to be oppressed, they'll sabotage your freedom so they can stop being oppressed. Case in point, Judas and the Black Messiah. When the bull was used by COINTELPRO to infiltrate with Fred Hampton and them and get Fred Hampton killed, Fred Hampton, was fighting for freedom. He wanted freedom. This guy just no longer wanted to be oppressed because he said, yo, we'll keep you out of jail. That's a form of the oppression. That's like, oh, wait, yo, you'll not oppress me if I do this? Okay, but I don't want to be free. Somebody who wants to be free will continue to go through the oppression that they're going through because they know that they're not free. You feel me? Somebody who just wants to stop being oppressed, they will fuck up freedom because they feel like, as long as I'm not oppressed, I'm good. You see it all the time with the black celebrities that come out when racial tensions are high. I don't experience racism. Bitch, shut the fuck up. You feel me? I never forget it. I never forget it when Wayne did the shit. That shit pissed me off because Wayne, nigga, you forget the dedication days when you did the whole Georgia Bush song? What? What? Wayne, we know. Nigga, you mean you ain't never experienced racism? Racism don't affect you and shit. But these are the things. He doesn't need to fight for freedom because he's rich. He just needs to stop being oppressed. Rich people aren't oppressed because they have the resources to go to war, right? But they're not free. So it's levels to the shit that they go through. But they'll tell you some shit like, I don't experience this shit. You feel me? Because in a sense, I've earned my freedom, so I don't succumb to the oppression I don't have to fight for you. Back in the day when you had the Bill Russells, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, the Muhammad Ali's, the Jim Browns, when they came together, right? It's because it was like, bitch, fuck y'all. We fighting for freedom. Like, yeah, we not oppressed. So is what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't affect us because we're not oppressed because we're rich. We not only are we rich, we are an asset to their establishments. So because as an asset, as athletes, we're assets to their establishments, we're not going to experience the oppression. You feel me? But this also goes back to slavery. A slave master can kill and beat his own slave, but if another slave master killed his, like, nigga, don't you fuck with my niggas, bro? Speaking of, that just hit me and gave me a whole different epiphany. Like, I was watching this interview with 50 Cent. He was like, yeah, him and Jay-Z, they're like, yeah, we say my nigga in order, it's a term of endearment. And, it's what we do. Now, granted, this is not me saying in 24 hours, I'm going to stop saying my nigga. I'm going to stop saying nigga again. It's a process, but I was just sitting there dwelling on it. It's going to be a lot more impactful. I'm going to stop saying it now because I see I can tell where it's being programmed into my mind. But it hit me because it was like, when we do say, yeah, that's my nigga right there. But it's like, to say something is yours, that means you own it. Who was the first person using this language? Like, that's my nigga. Right? You heard that from the slave. So the good slaves, like, yo, that's my nigga right there. That's my nigga right there. And it's like, we be saying it like, it's like, yo, but we don't own our niggas. We don't own niggas. So the conceptualization of my nigga was never us speaking it, but we're speaking as a motherfucker who was oppressing us. So we can't make it a term of endearment where we're not creating the context in which it was created. So I get it though in the slave time when like my nigga, it will be more in a lighthearted sense. So when we say it, it's like, my nigga, like, you feel me? But we're not making the connection because we don't own the niggas. Niggas is owned. And we the niggas. So when we say my nigga, it's like I don't own you, but it's like I'm speaking as the slave master. You feel what I'm saying? It's levels. It's levels. But anywho, in those regards, these are the things that we fight for, promotions and shit. Because the more we're promoted, the less we're oppressed. Think about it. The more you're promoted in this world, the less you're oppressed. But the more promotion gives you illusion of freedom. And it's not it. You feel what I'm saying? Working for myself, being in the entrepreneurial space and having to do this shit every fucking day. It's different than having to go to work every single day and do the same job that I don't even have to think about anymore. You feel me? Then I get a promotion and shit, whatever. That means the oppression stops conditionally. You feel me? Because I hold position. Right? But it doesn't grant me freedom. It doesn't grant me freedom. Why? Because freedom is expensive. You feel me? And it makes me wonder because when I look at poverty, right? Poverty as a whole, we know poverty is painful, but poverty is a state of mind in which, you have no resources to do absolutely anything with. And because of poverty, I don't think, because of poverty, I don't think we understand the depths of what freedom can be. Because if freedom is expensive and you come from a poverty mentality where you don't like, and you're unable to indulge in expensive things, how can you be free? How can you appreciate freedom? Because freedom is going to require you to have a work ethic that has to transcend an inferiority complex. If you're an oppressed person and you already feel like there's certain words and terminology that is being used on a regular basis for oppressed people. So I don't think they can come out of oppression. They just want the oppression to stop. Minorities, fucking like there's a whole bunch of word choices that are used to say, yeah, y'all are oppressed. Shut the fuck up. But just stop oppressing us. Don't make us free. Right? Because it's almost as if we don't know the difference between the two. It's scary. It's really scary to think about because, like I said, when you're tying it into people who are trying to, do something, your ship's gonna fuck up. Your shit's gonna fuck up because you had the people seeking freedom, you had people wanting oppression to stop. Most of the people, and I know this is gonna sound fucked up, but hey, it's just how it is from the observation of the years. You feel me? Most of the people who just want oppression to stop, they're heavily religious. Most motherfuckers who want freedom, they give religion up. I'm not gonna say that giving religion up will automatically grant you freedom, but there's a damn near direct connection between the two because the very oppression doesn't just happen. Like you didn't just get shackled and shit like that. No, our oppressions came damn near with the one-to-one direct connection with the religions we follow. We'll never have freedom because we can't give back the very things that took the freedom away. You feel what I'm saying? Because with freedom, like I said, it's expensive, but it comes with accountability and responsibility. This is why I'm saying most religious people just don't. They want to be oppressed. And they don't want to stop being. They don't want to be free because when you truly tap into freedom, you can no longer give credit to God, and you can no longer blame the devil for the good and the bad, respectively. I know. It seems crazy. It's like, yo, scene, you wilding, yo. What you talking about, bro? I always got to give thanks to God. I always got to give thanks to my ancestors and the guides and things like that. I'm not saying don't have gratitude. I'm not saying don't do that, but also too, don't assume that there's no power within you. This is what we do. You feel what I'm saying? This is what we do. And as a religious mindset, what you do is you move into a space where what you do is you find a way. Like your freedom is tied to permission. When a deity has to control whether good things or bad things happen, you have to move you have to move through permission. There is no permission, and you don't. There's no permission in freedom. You don't ask for shit. You do it because that's why I said freedom is the ability to make choices and make sound decisions and live with the consequences. A lot of people can't live with the consequences because of the accountability and responsibility and fixing the issue. So if something fucks up, you have to fix it, right? But if something fucks up and now you can put it on the deity, you can leave it alone, and the deity never has to fix it or try touch it. You can just say, "What it just says," and if it doesn't get fixed, you can say, "This it just wasn't for me." Nah, it was for you. It was for you to do. This was your job. This was your task. It wasn't your reward. See, this is where people fuck up, and this is where freedom ties into it too. People think freedom is people want the reward, so that's what they work for. They don't realize that there is no reward for the work. Certain work does not give you a reward. And if you're in this, and freedom is one of those works that when you are striving for freedom, there is no reward. In fact, there is so much critique, punishment, and all kind of other shit, cynical words on your quest for freedom that it makes you want to give it up until you taste it, until you have it, until you have that freedom and you don't give a fuck. It's like, yo, I don't give a fuck how much of my ass I got to bust. I get free time. I'm free. Nobody can tell me what to do. Nobody can tell me that I need to be doing X, Y, and Z, right? But not many people want that feeling. They just don't want to be oppressed. You feel me? I say it like this. It's not that they don't want to be, it's not that they don't want to, it's not that they don't want permission. They don't, this, it's not that they don't necessarily want to have to ask permission to go to the bathroom at work. But at the same time, they don't want to be questioned about going to the bathroom because they're grown. See what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers don't want to stop. Like, it's like, I can't get mad at your rules. I got a bathroom break. It's a certain time that I got to take this break, and I just got to take it. Yeah. And if I miss that break, then you got to hang out to your next one. You feel me? When I can just go freely, then that's okay, cool. The oppression has stopped. You feel me? But when I'm in the space where, bitch, I'm going whenever the fuck I want to go, like, and that's the freedom, but you got to deal with the consequences. Where were you? I didn't tell you can go to the bathroom. Bitch, I had to pee. You didn't ask me. You feel me? Shit like this has been starting since we was kids. Like, we've been programmed to avoid freedom and to fight to avoid to stop oppression. That's how the shit runs. Like, the civil rights movement wasn't about being free. It was about we'll be civil so y'all can stop. Like, what do we like? This is the battle. I don't even think people caught this shit. The civil rights movement was about black people asking white people, what do we have to do for y'all to stop oppressing us? And white people said, be civil. Okay, cool. We'll fight for civil rights. We'll do nonviolent shit. We'll do all of the shit to make you stop oppressing us. Did it stop, niggas? No. Because we didn't fight for freedom. Malcolm X, on the other hand, was fighting for freedom in a circle of motherfuckers who didn't want to be oppressed. That's what fucked Malcolm up. Malcolm X was like, yo, man, we are nonviolent with those who are like, basically, look, bitch, we are trying to be free. You feel me? We're not even worried about your oppression. We're gonna meet your oppression with oppression. You want to stop oppression? You don't want us to respond the way that you like, then stop doing the shit. You feel me? He was different because he's like, yo, I want freedom. We take away. He said it's stupid for you to have your children educated by your enemy. He wanted freedom. Martin Luther King says, I dream of a day when black kids and white kids and he was a buster, man. I don't be saying that shit because I'm trying to be an asshole. I'm trying to just be kind of like, no, Martin Luther King was a buster. Sometimes if we can take the title away and see the motherfucker for the motherfucker, like, you can see a lot more shit better. Martin Luther King was a buster. And we're in this situation because of the shit that he did. Because he didn't want freedom. He wanted oppression to stop. If you look at every leader who, quote unquote, they put in position, right? They didn't want freedom. These niggas wanted oppression to stop. Look at the divide you have. And this is the battle that has always happened, where you had Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois, like the Marcus Garvey and or was Marcus Garvey against W.E.B. Du Bois? Or was it Booker? Either way, we've always had these battles. It doesn't change. We've always had these battles, but we always looking at it as, oh, black people are so divided. You got light skin versus dark skin. It just so happens that it orchestrates that way sometimes. But for the most part, it's you have the darker people saying, nah, nigga, we want to be free. The lighter people saying, we just want to stop being oppressed, because some of those people were able to pass. Some of those motherfuckers you didn't know were black. You feel me? Because they was able to pass. So for them, it's just, let's just stop being oppressed because we already in here. No, 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 no. We have to be free, my people. But like I said, it's always been that divide. One side wanting freedom and the other side wanting oppression to stop. Conversations seem very similar. Intentions are totally different. Anybody, any of the black leaders, any of the black people who fought for freedom, who wanted freedom, are demonized and vilified. Everybody who wanted oppression to stop, they're put on the forefront. Because to make oppression stop, though, and there's also the synonymous side of, oh, be nonviolent. No, the motherfuckers who were fighting for freedom, they was with the shits, the ones that were vilified. You feel me? I had a professor when I was in college tell me that Huey Newton, the Black Panther Party, was a terrorist organization. I bet. I bet. They want freedom. They don't want oppression to stop. They want freedom. I'd be a terrorist too because I'm going to be free. Because now, when you know that that freedom is expensive, you want a tab, homie. I'm willing to pay this tab, and you own that bitch. When it's oppression, oh no, just stop doing it to us. No, nigga, I want freedom. I want freedom, and I'm going to have my freedom. You feel me? But these are the things that we facing. These are largely a lot of the things that we dealing with, that we going back and forth with, that is keeping us from growing. This is why we still march. This is why we still riot. This is why we do everything that's a response to not wanting to be oppressed. You feel me? It's not out of freedom. You feel me? When you fight for freedom, motherfuckers gonna think twice about oppressing you. When we look at Haiti, however, pronouncing it. But when we look at Haiti, right? Don't nobody fuck with Haiti. Niggas are scared of Haiti. You know why? Because Haiti fought for freedom. Freedom that they fought for granted them independence. The freedom that Haiti fought for granted them independence. Now, granted, everybody says Haiti's scary. Everybody says Haiti is evil. Motherfuckers keep fucking with Haiti, but they can't stop Haiti because Haiti has reached the point where they want freedom. They don't give a fuck. Haiti has granted themselves their freedom, which means they had to stop looking at, oh, I just don't want to be like, that was a collective thing. When we look at our uprisings, the motherfuckers never wanted to be free. It's like the battle was, look at the Nat Turner movie. The grown men, they were about to go to war for freedom. But then the young boy was scared. He just didn't want to be oppressed no more. He didn't want to go through that shit. You couldn't get mad at you put a boy in a man's fight too early. Now, granted, we can say whatever we want to say about the young boy. We got to remember he's still a young boy. This nigga's afraid. He doesn't he knows what master can do or whatever. He doesn't know what you can do. He know what masters do. He know what master does to you. I don't want to be free, nigga. We might not make it. I just did. So he went back and told the master, this is what they gonna try to do. I have to be on the side where I'm not oppressed. Fuck freedom. I don't know nothing about freedom. I don't know nothing about freedom. Now, when we fast forward this shit and we make this a bigger issue, as far as financially, you feel me? Motherfuckers just want to stop being oppressed, bro. Motherfuckers literally just want to stop being oppressed. And that was a scary reality I had to come to terms with. Because it becomes so much deeper than, you know what I mean? Like, I used to always be for, yeah, man, let me put this person on, put this person on. You're putting somebody on. You're in a space where you fought for freedom. And you're putting somebody in a space where they just want to stop oppression. They can fuck your freedom up easily because your freedom conflicts they're like, when we march, when we do other shit, if your freedom conflicts with somebody else's oppression, you feel me? And if they're not putting these two things in the same light, they'll fuck with you. You feel me? You know how many black people I've seen, a black person could make a general statement and say, hey, they fucking us up like this. And then the black person, well, he doesn't speak for me. He may not speak for you, but he's speaking as you, because when this shit happens, why do if motherfuckers ain't speaking for us, you feel me? Or they don't speak for the collective, then why the fuck are we all in outrage over the same shit? You feel me? If the motherfuckers can't speak for you, the motherfuckers don't share the same sentiments you share about whatever is like. And these are the things. Some motherfuckers want to be free. Some people just want to stop being oppressed. You dig what I'm saying? I'm willing to do whatever. It's like, yo, niggas didn't give a fuck back then. You feel me? When niggas wanted to be free, when motherfuckers wanted to be free, that's when it was different. Like, I was watching the Bill Russell legacy, right? And they set some games out. Him and some other players set some games out because the black people couldn't eat. They was like, nah, y'all can't eat out here. Oh, well, we playing. Oh no. All right, well, we ain't playing these games. They didn't care. Like, they wanted freedom more than they just wanted oppression to stop, because they realized without freedom, the oppression never will. But with us wanting the oppression just to stop, we got to go through a ritual every single year that reminds us, hey, we're still oppressing you. Don't forget. We'll temporarily put it on pause though. Nah, you fight for freedom and shit. You got to let people know that there's consequences for their actions. You feel me? There's shit you gotta face and there's shit you gotta deal with for fucking with a motherfucker. We're afraid to do that, right? And me personally, I feel I'm gonna hold on to that. That I feel like it's tied to the religion. When you teach that, you turn your cheek to the enemy. What does that do for you as a person being oppressed? You ain't got but four cheeks, two on the face, two on the butt, and that's it. What you gonna do after they slap them all? Now they kicking you in your ass. Like, you feel me? Because motherfuckers don't want freedom. They just want to stop being oppressed. So they say, I'm gonna do everything that you tell me to do. That, like, think about it. Like, we were enslaved, we took on the religion, we watched the kids, we did everything, we even fought for civil rights. Like, we did everything and it's never stopped, bro. It's not going to, because it won't stop until freedom is what's fought for. Now, it doesn't have to be bloodshed. Let me say that. Something that I've learned, especially with inflation and mashing the market, the way that I've learned these markets is like it hits differently now, because it's like, wow, I really don't have to do anything anymore business wise. I can now put my money somewhere where profitable businesses move. You don't need to open a business. You already opened the business. Go do the hard work and shit. You do all of the other shit. Let me just get a piece of what you do in a day. Makes sense, right? But the freedom, that freedom is hard to come by, because the process it takes to actually learn how to be able to do that, to gain that freedom, a lot of people don't want. Like I said, a lot of people want to make money in the market, but they don't want to learn the process on how the money is made and moved. You feel me? If your mindset doesn't change to have freedom, then you're just going to try to stop oppression. And as long as you keep telling yourself they're the same thing when they're not, you feel me? I just want to be free. When is it going to stop? It's not. Oppression doesn't stop. Oppression doesn't stop when it's profitable. Oppression does not stop when it generates profit. What the fuck? Like, why would it? So what do you think you're fighting for? It's profitable to have y'all go out and protest and do riots every week. It's profitable as fuck. You feel me? Like, I didn't realize this until I was in Philly. Motherfucking, you got to get permission to protest. That hit me differently, because I was like, I said, yo, this ain't even real. 'Cause look, when I was in Philly, right, I worked as an account manager at a hotel. The hotel I worked at was right across from City Hall. So when they protested on, Broad Street, whatever. So they protested outside of the area. So that's where they blocked off. And it's like, all right, they got to protest. So one day I was talking to the cop, whatever, and I was like, I'm like, yo, how are y'all always on point when they get ready to protest? I was like, they was like, oh, because they tell us when they're gonna protest. I said, wait a minute, they scheduled a protest ahead. He's like, yeah, they gotta clear it. You can't just protest out here in these streets. He was like, no, they have to clear it. A protest has to be scheduled. We have to block off certain streets so the traffic isn't. I said, this is scheduled shit. Are you serious? He was like, "Yeah, you didn't know that?" I said, "No, I thought like the way they show it on the news and stuff, it's like people just it's like flash mob. They just decided to get no." He said, "No, they schedule these protests ahead of time. So when something happens, probably like the next week and a half, they gotten all the ordinances cleared with City Hall so they can protest." I said, "Wow, wow." Takes it to a whole different level. Because if it's really freedom and shit, you don't need permission to protest. The fuck? It's like, nigga, we stopping shit right fucking now. You dig what I'm saying? But it's like, you know what? We mad. Can we be mad next week? I'm sorry. That's it's like, yo, we mad. We gonna be mad next week. Not right now. That's why the riots hit so much heavier. It's like the protests don't bother people, but the riots, because the riots are, nigga, you ain't ask us. You just went out there and started wilding, man. We wasn't ready for this. We wasn't ready for this. We didn't have the right people in place to make it. You know what I mean? So it's like what the fuck, man? The fuck, the Million Man March. Okay, I get it because you need time to get a million motherfuckers together. But you feel me? It's like, yo, y'all need permission to go be angry. You need permission to go. Like, that's not freedom. That's not freedom. That's a limitation. You feel me? It's like, yo, nigga, wait, what? I need this is block. Wait, you guys got yes, and we're going to be protesting in this area. Like, yo, protest where the fuck you want to protest it. That's like, no, we're gonna make sure that we're around City Hall. We're gonna make sure that, like, what? You had to ask for permission. They're not taking you seriously. Think about this shit, bro. Think about how this is. Like, this is what it is when you're trying to stop oppression rather than fight for freedom. I'm mad. Okay, look, the cops killed an unarmed person. I'm gonna go to the motherfucker who employs the cops and tell them, hey, bitch, we about to protest against your little minions killing the free motherfuckers out here. Okay, nigga, when y'all gonna protest? All right, we'll make sure that the very people y'all are protesting are also gonna be there to protect you and block shit off. This shit is a movie, y'all. This shit is like to know that you need permission to respond the way your heart tells you to respond shows you have no freedom. It's levels to shit like this, though. It's legit levels to this shit. And a lot of people are afraid of the levels. You feel what I'm saying? The Black Panther Party, they didn't need no ordinance. They didn't need any ordinances. They didn't need shit. They just did it. You feel me? What is WIC today was what the breakfast program they started. They didn't need permission. I sit and I be wondering, I'd be like, if they was fight, I'm like, how did they fund this? This was always been me because the way they play it in the history is just like where did they get the money from? Because I know the government wasn't giving them no grants or no loans or no shit like that. Where was this money coming from for them to feed the community? It was coming from the people circulating the dollar. It's like those are the parts of the history they're not showing you. The freedom. They're making it seem like, oh, the Black Panther Party, they just pull guns out. No, they fought for freedom, which means that when you are fighting for freedom, you need to be able to secure three things: food, clothing, and shelter. All you keep hearing is get into the markets, but do you trade or do you invest? Should you do stocks, forex, crypto, or NFTs? My personal answer is not a single one if you don't know how to read a chart. Without knowing how to read a chart, you end up giving all your money to those who do. Do you know what a candle is? Do you know the pocket of activity? Do you know the difference between market direction and market control? If you answer no at least once, you might want to learn how to read a chart first. Learning how to read a chart will let you know if you should trade or invest and if you should do stocks, forex, crypto, and or NFTs. It will also let you know if this is even for you or not. So visit IamJustSeen.com to learn how to read charts with my Mastering the Market course, ebooks, and webinars today. The world is changing. The question is, will you adapt with it? If you cannot, in any way, shape, or form, secure food, clothing, and shelter, you're not fighting for freedom. You just want to stop being oppressed. You feel what I'm saying? You just want to stop being oppressed. They fought for food, clothing, and shelter, and they provided it. That's freedom. That's freedom. And it's scared motherfuckers. Freedom is scary. You know why? Because freedom is expensive. But when you know that a motherfucker is willing to pay the fee to be free, you're not capturing them that easy. Captivity is not a reality for a free motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? Because a motherfucker who has their freedom, they've already paid the dues to ensure. I'm not thinking no. As a motherfucker, just from an entrepreneurial perspective, the work that I put, I won't even let you say nothing against the shit that I've created, the physical shit that I've created. You dig what I'm saying? But these things also tie into the things that have granted me freedom. You feel me? The ability to run, the advertisements and keep this. That's the freedom. But the work that it had to take in to have that. You feel me? I'm not gonna let them motherfuckers have. Now, if I'm just trying to, that ain't got shit to do with me. If I'm just trying not to be oppressed, I don't have anything. I just want you to stop beating me up, but I'm not gonna fight you back. I've told this story several times. I'm gonna tell it now. I used to get bullied when I was a kid. I got bullied up until I was 5 years old. I started getting bullied when I was 5 years old. Right? I beat the motherfucker up. He ain't bully me no more. The oppression stopped. I wasn't trying to morally appeal to him saying, please stop bullying me. Why do you not like me? What's the problem? Mink, 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 mink. I ain't fucking with him no more. I know. I know. Now, what did we learn? What did we learn? You're a bully and you try to go for people who just don't want to be oppressed, nigga. I like freedom. I like freedom. I don't have freedom if I'm looking over my shoulder because you bullying me. I'm gonna beat you the fuck up. And if I don't beat you up, I'm gonna fade you. We gonna fade. You feel me? But you gonna realize that because after that, oppression is an option at that point. If I know you can't do shit to me for real, bruh, bruh. You feel me? These are some of the battles that we got to deal with as people. Anything in your life that you want freedom with, the freedom to do whatever you want to do, you're going to pay the fees, homie. It's tolls, it's taxes, it's a lot. You're going to pay every dime of it. Every dime of it every single day. If you want freedom. You feel what I'm saying? And what are you going to do when you get it? Now, here's the thing about it. Everybody can't maintain freedom. In learning this reality of some people want freedom and some people just want to stop being oppressed, I learned to stop putting my people in the bubble of wanting freedom when I know and I can tell that they just want to stop being oppressed because it helps. See what I've done? My first thing was like when I say, yo, I'm doing this for my people, like I'm creating master the market, inflate the flag, I'm gonna learn all this stuff so we can unplug, we can completely do all of this. Like, I started off like that. I wanted that. Then I realized everybody don't want to be free. It's motherfuckers right now that are asking me about, consciousness and shit like that, but they don't want to go through the process of going through the tree of life. No, it ain't gonna work. You don't want the freedom. You feel me? That's the spiritual freedom. Spiritual freedom is a whole different level because you don't think you can obtain spiritual freedom without following a religion, and the religion puts you in spiritual captivity. You'll never be free. You'll never be free. Because you're not supposed to. Because ain't no profit. You feel what I'm saying? The profit is in the captivity, not in the freedom. You feel me? But in order to be free, the amount of shit that you have to do, you feel me, is different. So like I'm saying, when I tell people, yo, you got like, it's scary, yo. I'm saying it's scary because it's like I watch how oppression plays out. And I watch how we start having this conversation. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get out of this. I'm trying to get out of this. Like, yo, all right, what's the next step? I don't know. I ain't trying to do all that. Hey, that's too much, man. You don't want to be free. You don't want to be free. You just don't want to be oppressed no more. You dig what I'm saying? It's sad because it changes your perspective on life. You get to a point where you no longer desire to try to bring people out of a situation because it's like I didn't put them in that situation. All I can do is show them that they're in the situation and that they need to move and change the direction if they're going to move and change the direction. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Every year we have marches. Every year we have a whole bunch of other shit, and don't shit change. You know why? Because the oppression stops temporarily. Freedom is when the oppression stops permanently. No, I ain't gonna say permanently because they still fucking with Haiti. They just can't beat Haiti up. They still fucking with Haiti. They're trying to drain Haiti of resources. They just not going over there no more. Because what Haiti did to these motherfuckers, when Haiti put down religion and tapped back into the essence of the self, Haiti fucked them up. Haiti fucked them up, and they're not gonna tell you that story. They're gonna keep that out of the history because it's like it goes deeper because it was the essence of the Haitian people. Because then once you get to the essence of the Haitian people, right, then you break down the landmass. It's like, oh, they didn't do this because they lived on this land. They did this because of their genetics. And then you see it translate on every other continent. They're smart. They're not gonna tell y'all all black. They ain't gonna tell y'all all got genetics of dominance. They're not gonna tell you that part because it's like, oh yeah, you could do what the Haitians did too. When you decide that you want freedom and just don't want to stop being oppressed. Like shit different. Shit different. I never forget when I was going over the history and studying I want to say it's either Denmark Dessalines, um Overture. It was one of them in the South. It was, I mean, during the Haitian time. He said, "Yo, get a white man back as God. You are free." I didn't quite understand it the first time I heard that, but it's like, mm, that's powerful for a black person to tell another black person, if you give the white man back his God, you will be free. That's different. That shows how that shows how expensive freedom is, but that also shows how much religion is worth. The price of religion, right? Your freedom in a sense the price of your religion. You feel me? Some motherfuckers won't be free because they believe in a deity that told them they're supposed to be in this situation. Really? That's scary to know. That's scary to know because now for them to gain if you are oppressed by a religion, that means to gain your freedom, the price you're gonna have to pay is giving your religion up. A lot of people can't do that. And I'm not even saying giving it up. Well, I'm saying giving it up, but let me rephrase that. Understanding it. People believe in their religion. This is why I'm so big on understanding the 4 levels of the mind: belief, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. How you gonna gain freedom when you just believe in something? In order to pay for freedom, you have to reach a level of understanding with things that bring value so you can monetize off of those things. And when I say monetize, I don't just mean the physical dollar. I mean compensation. Is one of the 12 laws of the universe. You have to be compensated for the things you understand in order to be free. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna come back to you because you got to plan it out. But if you're unable to do that, how will you receive anything from it? You won't. You won't. You'll continue to remain in a state of oppression, complaining about how you want freedom, right? Talking to people who want to be free. But all in all, you just want to stop being oppressed. So when it comes to where you can compromise and say, hey, you feel me? Case in point, all of that other shit went out the window when they started offering Colin Kaepernick contracts again to play football. You feel me? He was trying to speak up for the oppressed. And when they reminded him, nigga, you ain't oppressed, we'll show you, we'll give you your contract back. I ain't in this shit no more. I got my the fight is different. Because I wasn't fighting for freedom. I was fighting for oppression to stop. And I wasn't even being oppressed. It's easy to throw that shit out the window. You dig what I'm saying? We'll fuck up your contracts. We'll do whatever. You feel me? All because motherfuckers don't want to be oppressed. Not that they want to be free. I sit and I talk to people and I'm like, yo, you're going to have to go through some shit if you really want to be free. And then you watch the people talk about, yeah, man, this is what I want. Tell them what it takes to do it and watch how many start doing the process. That's why I love entrepreneurship so much. I watched so many people fall off over the years that were rocking with me, that started with me. And then I watched myself continue to push through shit where people thought, oh, this is it. It's not going to go any farther than this, whatever. It's like, no, y'all don't understand what freedom is. I'm going to be free. I'm going to be free. I don't care if it takes a whole lifetime. Freedom is what I want and I will have. I'm not just out here saying I don't want to be oppressed anymore. Because it runs deeper than that. Because now it's like I have to, when I no longer want to be oppressed, look at the things that I have to change. We have to name our children a certain way so they can quote unquote get a good job. You feel me? We have to go send them to schools and be educated by motherfuckers who don't like them because we want oppression to stop. We go through all of these things and then we get all of these titles and we move and we still a nigga, bro. The oppression ain't gonna stop. But when you fighting for freedom, it's like, you know what? Fuck your job. Fuck all of this. I'm not gonna use my talents for y'all ever again. Ever again. You know how much flack I catch from people, and this is where it's like I don't get upset like I used to, but I catch a lot of flack from people for, being somebody who, I was in med school and all this other shit. And they're like, yo, how do you just walk away? Because you can't do that. I can. Freedom and oppression are different things. I walked away from all of that shit because I wanted to be free. Some motherfuckers walk into it so they can stop being oppressed. I walked away from it because I said, nah, I want to be free and I can't be free in this. The pandemic showed you how many doctors were not free. How many of these high educated motherfuckers were not free? It's sad because you watch how many just don't want to be oppressed. So I'm going to tell you to get along with what everybody's getting along with. I'm not going to stand on my own two because I don't even know what my own two is supposed to stand on. I just know that as a people pleaser, as all of this shit, I just want oppression to stop. And I'm going to fight for oppression to stop. I'm not going to fight for freedom. Because in the fight for freedom, there's shit that you got to do to say, hey, how did you obtain your freedom? So that when I teach the Master in the Marketing E-Week course, I've mentioned this in one of the previous episodes and shit, and I stand on this shit. I meant this shit and I mean it with everything in me. You feel what I'm saying? I beat the game. By understanding Mastering the Market and shit like this is like, yo, our people, they may have stolen our resources. May have done everything and built, but all we have to do is learn this game. Let them continue to do the heavy lifting and shit off of our resources. Now we can cheat them out of the shit and just kill the whole game. It's not hard, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's really not hard. Like, if you understand Forex and the stock market and shit, yeah, they got all of the businesses and shit. They took it all. They fucked it all up with integration. But when you learn how to invest and move if they're going to be a profitable business, if they're going to be the ones who has to do the advertising, the marketing, and get all this shit to let them do that. Let them continue to do that. Take a piece of their money though. This is why I do Forex. This is a quick tangent and shit. I'm gonna get back to this. But this is why I do Forex. Forex is deeper than what a lot of people think. Because again, when niggas just didn't want to be oppressed, they was just in the space of, ooh, let me join this MLM and pay $250 a month and do all this other stupid shit that really ain't got shit to do with shit and just keep thinking that I got to trust the process. What process? They're not even teaching you a process. Motherfuckers was, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was coming to me asking me questions about shit that was in the MLM. I said, I'm not in an MLM, but you're going to have to pay me to talk to me about that shit. And it's like, well, they're not teaching me nothing. Why the fuck are you in it then? They keep saying trust the process. Are they teaching you the process? No. Because the process is recruitment. The fuck? Because you don't want to be free. But the process of freedom. I got to take you through every single piece from the candle all the way to the entry to the time frames. I got to show you every piece of the market to know how to move it and how to just put your money in it and move it for that day or for that week or however long you want to move it. You feel me? For the day traders, is just move it for the day before my investors and shit. We're going to move this shit for a whole month, 2 months, 3 months and lock the money in. You dig what I mean? But this is the process. And the reason why I'm saying that because when you fight for the freedom, freedom is the domain of no limitations. Anything that could potentially be to have freedom means that anything that could potentially be a limitation in your life is removed. That's hard because only you can remove the limitations in your life. And if you believe you have limitations, you cannot remove them. So when I'm telling people to be free, they can't because their mind is not that they're not willing to face what it takes to overcome the limitations. If I know that I don't want to work for anybody, it's like, oh, money has to keep moving. So what do I have to do? I have to go where money is moving and move with it. Feel me? Trillions of dollars move every 24 hours in the stock market, forex market, and crypto market every single day. You got to get a piece of that somehow. You feel what I'm saying? Somehow. But if we're not deciding that we want the freedom to learn how to eliminate every limitation we have, it's different. You feel me? This is one of the things, like, it's like me as an entrepreneur, whether it me being me an Aries or just me being a thorough person, I have to learn everything. The moment I dive into something, I'm coming out the other side. I'm not learning enough just to go talk about it. I'm getting the whole experience to understand that bitch, and I'm coming out the other side. And it's just like, all right, this is it. But when I go through everything, it's because I need the freedom. I need the freedom. You feel me? My advertising and marketing, right? When I'm running ads, right? The freedom, the freedom to be able to just, it takes me about 30, 40 minutes to create a whole ad campaign. You feel me? And that's writing the ad copy, setting up the campaign and everything like that. But once this is set, that's it. The freedom to be able to let the ads run and walk away. It was a lot that had to go into that shit. I had to learn about pixels. I learned about coding. I ain't really had to learn about coding, but I had to learn about it a little bit because I had to make certain tweaks to certain shit. I had to learn about um um I had to learn about conversion measurements. I had to learn about uh certain shit. Certain things tweaked with the Apple shit. Like there was a lot of things, but it was like the freedom said, I'm going to remove every limitation tied to this. I don't care how long it takes. Some people will call it insanity. See, that's the difference. See, there's a difference between a cycle and a spiral. Insanity happens in cycles. You feel me? Spirals aren't insane because as you're moving in the circle, you're going into a different depth every time. You feel what I'm saying? So while, for example, had I, let's say, talking about the advertising and marketing, had I have not dove into going deeper into it, it would have been just a cycle of me constantly boosting post. Oh no, it's a conversion. Oh, I can literally track only people that do this, that click this button, that watch for 5 minutes to 10. I can, whoa. When I learned all of that shit, like it becomes easy. It's like, yo, I'm only going to target the people who do this specific thing because you flow in a certain function. You don't have to do it. So now the freedom to know that whenever I set up an ad or whatever the case may be, it takes me 30 minutes because it takes me 30 minutes. It really don't even take me that long, to be honest with you, because the copy and shit is easy. Fuck it, we'll just stick with 30 minutes. It takes me 30 minutes to complete a solid campaign. Now, the campaign is going to include the main ad, where I'm running it to a warm audience of, millions of people, right? And then it contains a retargeting ad where everybody that from that main ad that hits the web page or whatever the case may be, I got y'all forever. I'm keeping y'all cycled in the web, and I'm going to only show y'all ads every 3 days. You feel me? After 7 times of seeing something, that somebody will make a decision off of it. But every 3 days. But if I let you see it every 7 times within a small time frame, it dulls your mind too quick. But if I give it to you in a certain space, so now I set it for every 3 days. So now, in one regard, I'm setting it for every 3 days for you to retarget. So anybody who hit the page, you're gonna get hit again, but you're gonna get hit with a different ad or whatever. The main ad, right? I have anybody who's clicked a certain link within that, omit those people and keep all new people in. So it's a whole new cycle that's running. And every 30 days is like what that audience pool is to create a lookalike audience. I'm always gonna keep this thing moving. Right. But the freedom to be able to do that, it took me a long time. You feel me? I've been studying and learning the advertising, marketing, and branding uh probably like 4 years now. 4 years. You feel me? Had Apple have not made they fuck up, I probably would have got it a long time ago, a lot earlier. But um, yeah, after 4 years of everything like shuffling and moving the pieces, but the freedom to do that is expensive as shit. Now, granted, I only have to touch up like month by month, like little new updates come out. Hey, this, that. Those little things I got. Like, I don't have to start over. I don't have to start from ground zero and build it all up. And that's what fucks people all up. Freedom starts from ground zero. Freedom literally starts from ground zero. Nobody wants to start there because a lot of people, even with getting the freedom, you feel me, having to start over starts to get lonely, and then you got to maintain that shit. Knowing that I got a job and I could just, go in, and I just want motherfuckers not to, excuse me, I just want motherfuckers not to beat me up. That's beautiful. Mm. How the fuck I get the hiccups? Mm. My bad. My bad. Stretch my diaphragm right quick. But yeah. So yeah, but motherfuckers don't want to be free. They just want to stop being oppressed. So in the quest to freedom, once a lot of motherfuckers hit that first free wall, that first wall of freedom, it's uh-uh. This ain't for me. It is for you. Break that big motherfucker down. You feel me? Break that big motherfucker down. A lot of people can't break that big motherfucker down because it requires time. Here's what's important about time. A lot of people think that it's going to take, when they think time, they think of duration. This is why I always say time isn't what we think it is. Time is a matter of where, not when, right? What events are going to occur at this where? That creates time. How many, like when you were at this particular space, right? What events and what experiences occur within the space to give you the time? None. Oh, you just hit a brick wall, hit your first challenge and gave up. You don't want freedom. You don't want freedom, especially when people are like, "Oh, I want financial freedom, generational wealth, and all of that shit." Because now you have to translate that freedom into your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, your great great grandchildren. Freedom has to be something that they understand that they need to have. We come up in a space, and this is where it becomes hard when you're trying to build a team to get, you got to, if you're trying to build a team with generational wealth and you only have people that just want to stop being oppressed, you're not going to build that much of a team. And I get it because we feel like we flock together in certain vibes and certain circles that our friends are supposed to be. No, the people that want freedom want freedom. Your friends want what your friends want, and whatever you guys are friends, that doesn't necessarily mean, you know what I mean? Like, so you got to watch how people don't want oppressive energy put on them, but they don't want to be free either. Because when you tell them, hey, look, this is what you got to do for real, I got to do this. Like, it blows my mind when people, you know what I'm saying, feel like this is just one. People want to be free from the health afflictions and everything, but they don't want to change the way they eat and they don't want to work out every day. This is what I was saying. Discipline ain't no fucking mystical shit. It's just the choice to make a certain, it's the decision to continue to make the same choice every day. That's discipline. A lot of people can't be disciplined, right? So it's almost a one-on-one thing. If you can't find a motherfucker that has discipline, you're definitely not gonna find a motherfucker who wants to be free, because you got to be disciplined in order to pay the cost to obtain your freedom. Like we talk about, oh, our ancestors were slaves and they did this and oh, they got enslaved, but they had to buy their freedom. Their freedom was expensive as fuck. You feel me? Some of them had to work off certain debts and they ended up buying their freedom. How much did their freedom cost, bro? That shit different. Some people seen how much the freedom cost and they said, I'm not paying it. I'll stay here. You feel me? And because some people never pay their freedom, they don't understand the value of it. You seen 12 Years a Slave? I wish a motherfucker would capture me as a free motherfucker and put me in enslave me for 12 years. Nigga, that for me, I didn't like that movie. I didn't watch it, but just the title and the captions that and the title of the movie and the little clips that I saw. Nigga, you was a free man and you let them enslave you for 12 years. It's different. In my opinion, it's different because as a free man, your mind should not have been even wired for oppression. Like you should have been like, hold up, y'all ain't catching me, bro. I'm getting away from this motherfucker. In life, in the movie Life, every year Ray was trying to get off that motherfucker. They didn't get off until they was old, but he did not stop fighting because he demanded freedom. He said, "Fuck y'all. I'm not staying in this motherfucker. Y'all can put me in a hole. Y'all can put me wherever y'all gonna put me at." You feel me? When he was like, "Yo, what was Cookie smoking when he drank?" He said, "He didn't draw that map. I did it, but I knew you wouldn't come unless I had a map. But I was gonna go regardless. I just didn't want to go by myself." You feel what I'm saying? Martin's character just didn't want to be oppressed. Eddie's character wanted to be free. And it's evident in every single one of their their uh their interactions for the most part. When they stopped at the white only pies thing, Ray was like, "Hey, bro, let's just go, bro. This ain't." He said, "Fuck that, bro." He said, "I'm gonna." Then Ray tried to, talk the money and shit. Hey, how much for those white only pies? But off rip, when he went in there, he was like, But Martin was, "I'm hungry. I just don't want to be oppressed." You feel what I'm saying? It's metaphorical, of course. You dig what I'm saying? Once they, when Can't Get Right got there and they was trying to get him out, he said, "Yo, I'm gonna use this route. This is a safe route. If he can get out, we can get out." And they didn't take him. It's like, yo, he's the only one I can play. But Ray was, "I'm getting out this motherfucker." You feel me? I'm getting out this motherfucker. It wasn't until Claude decided, you know what? I want to be free. I want to be free. That he was able to break through and get free for real, for real. Set the whole shit on fire, put two fake bodies in there and got out. But that's the thing about it. They fought. Ray fought for freedom, and then ultimately Claude fought for freedom at the end. But the separation between the two, you feel me? Ray wanted the freedom when he was young. Claude didn't want it till he got old. When he said white only pies and he almost got shot when he had to stand on the motherfucking bottles and shit. Like, you feel me? He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck. He's like, if I die, I die. Fuck it. I want that pie because this is like it. So much shit went into his life. You dig what I'm saying? But these are differences between where we are. Those who even on a bigger scale, just the last piece of that example, like Ray wanted freedom in the sense that he was an entrepreneur, the hustler, and everything. He never did anything consistently on the straight up and up. But then Claude, got the bank teller job or whatever, just stopped the oppression. Wasn't entrepreneurship. Ray was entrepreneurship too, but it wasn't consistent. You feel me? But it was that space of I want freedom no matter what it's going to take. Versus I just want oppression to stop. You always have to consider that whenever, like I said, you're building your teams. Whenever you're deciding, okay, these are the people I want to work with. When I first started with this, entrepreneur, like I worked with a lot of people. You feel what I'm saying? Some of those people are still doing the same work now. Some of those people gave it up because some of the people just wanted to use it to secure a bag or whatever the case may be. Like, then some people really do this shit. You dig what I'm saying? And so when you have the freedom to do it, you do it. One thing that I'm proud of, and I'm watching how the podcast scape is changing. A lot of people are comfortable now speaking a certain way on podcasts and talking a certain way. I like to feel like I was one of the first motherfuckers to do the shit. I've been talking this way on everything from the jump, but it's the freedom to do so. You feel me? A lot of motherfuckers ain't got the freedom to do that shit. You feel me? They don't have the freedom to do that shit because they're not able to handle the consequences. And I break this shit down and then we'll start to wrap it up with this. Consequences is the most important piece that separates the freedom from the desire for freedom versus the desire to stop oppression. Consequences. Consequences are hard to face when you know that you automatically have negative consequences pushed upon you. You see what I'm saying? When you're in an oppressive world, when you're in a world that oppresses you, every consequence that you have is against you. You know what I'm saying? So you go into the world expecting the consequences to be against you, right? Now, with depression, you just say, I want these consequences to stop negatively impacting me, right? I want to stop having to deal with negative consequences. Freedom is these negative consequences ain't going to stop. So I'm going to figure out a way to say fuck it and do it anyway. This is going to happen to me anyway. You feel me? Why not be on the other side of that? You feel me? Like you have children ask for permission, adults ask for forgiveness, deities ask for neither. They don't ask you for shit, right? And a deification is ascension of the mind. A God is the highest level of the mind, highest conceptualization of the mind, right? The highest conceptualization of your mind should want you to be free, but it doesn't. It wants you to remain oppressed. How? How? Because the freedom ain't free. Because it's tied to the consequences. Consequences are powerful. A lot of people, like I said, they only want good rewards. They don't want the full totality of what a consequence is. Me as a person, when I learn how to take the good and the bad, people talk about it. People talk about it all the time. Oh, you gotta take the good with the bad. But not many people can really take the bad because the bad fucks with them. Because knowing that you had good intentions and a bad outcome happen, it fuck with you. Not realizing that, hey, I just gotta find a way to fix this, to remove this limitation to grant me the freedom. People shut down completely when they get a bad consequence for something, right? Now, when you know that it's at your own hands, it changes your reality, which makes you not want to have freedom. I live a life now. I've always lived this life. We all have lived this life, but I come to terms with the fact that I live the life that I create everything around. I got a shirt, I got a design on my merch that says I rule everything around me. I might redo it and make a better version of it because I was a lot younger when I made that one. And a lot more inexperienced as far as graphic design and shit. So I might make a new one, but uh it's called I rule everything around me. When you get to the point where you understand that you rule everything around you, you start to realize that everything you do leads to a certain consequence. Can you deal with the consequence? You have to be able to deal with the consequence if you know that this action is something for a bigger picture down the line. You feel me? Can I deal with the consequences of that? And everything that could potentially come with it. When you look at entrepreneurship, right? A lot of motherfuckers will tell entrepreneurs, yo, quit your job so you can focus on it. Mm-mm, mm-mm. As a nigga that has done it, as a person that has done it, I told you I'm trying to get my shit back right. But as a person that has done it, you feel what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm going to tell you not to. I'm not going to hype you up, encourage you, say quit your job. It'll give you that thought. Don't put yourself through that stress. You can do it. It can work. You feel me? But you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. Like, that's going to force you into a whole different space to make you believe that this ain't for you, because there's going to be a lot that you got to push through. And that is a lot easier if you have a little bit of cushion. So, but what I'm saying is that they tell people, quit your job, get that focus so you can do blah, 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 blah. Don't, don't. Because now, can you deal with the consequences of what it will mean to quit your job? I don't mean be optimistic and say, within 30 days, I could potentially do this. No, 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 no. If you're looking at the totality of everything, if I quit right now, if I left this alone right now, will I be good in a month? With what I have at this particular moment, generate what I'm going to need then? That answer is no. Respectfully, stay on your motherfucking job. If that answer is yes, respectfully stay on your job, because if you can't manipulate, if you can't duplicate it twice, you feel what I'm saying? If you can't match your work income twice, then don't let it go. But again, that's the thing about the difference in this. Freedom, you have to fight and you got to deal with the consequences. You feel what I'm saying? Not being able to, if you walked away from your job and not being able to maintain yourself, and that it means you're not free. You didn't put yourself in a position to eliminate all limitations. The first half of my entrepreneurship journey, I had to figure that shit out the hard way, but I couldn't stop. Y'all seen it. It was 2018. I said, you know what? I'm done with this motherfucking shit, bruh. I'm fucking done. And it made me have to become so much, like, I had to deal with that shit. There were so many limitations I had. I wasn't as versed in marketing and advertising and shit. I was just used to making a post and people liking my shit and selling my shit. But then it gets to a point where it changes. But you got to keep it going. You got to still eliminate every limitation. You feel me? Shit was hard. This is why I'm telling motherfucking don't quit your job. I didn't have to. Because for me, it was a little bit different. If I wouldn't have quit my job, I don't think I would have gotten this far this fast. You dig what I'm saying? But that's me because of the type of person that I am, which now ties into the entire theme of all of this right here. When you're arguing, when we're dealing with people and you're telling them, okay, I want to, I'm trying to be free. Watch them, listen to them. Do they want to be free for real? They just want to stop being oppressed. That will fuck up your entire game plan. A lot of people be like, yo, my team, like my family don't support me, my circle don't support me. Because y'all are not in the same space wanting the same thing. You're not. And it's okay. It's okay. Just realize you can't bring like I used to want to bring everybody on. I only want to bring people on that want to be free because everything that I do is about freedom. It's no longer about just not wanting to be oppressed. Like when I say like I got motherfuckers still asking me, like I be shocked. Motherfucker be like, yo, uh, you gonna watch the Super Bowl? No. Why not? We supposed to be boycotting NFL, nigga. I ain't watched football since we said it. You feel me? I thought that's what the fuck we was doing. You feel me? But again, that's when you just don't want to be oppressed. When we want to be free, it's fuck it. Hey, we ain't supposed to watch football. I ain't gonna watch football. You feel me? There's a lot of shit that we boycotted. I haven't gone back to because I thought we were supposed to be boycotting. But it's a difference between freedom, between wanting freedom and wanting oppression to stop. And that's what you got to deal with watching all of this play out. We see so much of us, people get into celebrity, they get into hype and everything. And it's like, yo, I want to do this, but I don't want to be free for real. This shit ugly, bro. This shit ugly. Motherfuckers just want to stop being oppressed. And that's scary as fuck when you really think about it. Because if we on a quest of freedom, this is how our movements get brought down. It's motherfuckers that they don't want freedom. They just want to stop being Black Lives Matter. That was about those people not wanting to be oppressed, and they capitalized on the shit. They didn't want to be free. They want to create a system where black people can shut the fuck up again. And white people just like, no, stop it, y'all. Start trying to be free. The moment you become free, your life changes. They can't tell you shit. You feel me? Like I said, if push comes, none of my books ever sell again. If people say I don't want to fuck with your merch, I don't want to buy your clothes. Fuck that. Fuck you. Your podcast trash. Fucking what else? Hitting it right. I don't want to fuck with that. I don't want to fuck with it. I can day trade and invest. Like I don't give a fuck. Like y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, but I will know where you put your money at, and I will put my money there and move it. You feel me? Like when these controversy things hit, I go to where it's gonna be at in the market now. It's crazy how like when sports shit happen, I'm usually gonna go to Nike somewhere around it. Like I'm gonna find a way to move some money in some way, shape, or form. Oh, y'all about to dump off? Okay, cool. I'm gonna set up option for the price to go down. It's little shit like that that you just, you know what I mean? But it's the freedom to eliminate the limitations that you're gonna have over yourself. When you are born into an oppressive situation, everything is a limitation. So to be free means you have to literally overcome and stand firm against everything that opposes you. And that's where the battle comes in because not everybody is willing to break those limitations because to break those limitations requires the discipline to become free. And that freedom requires the power to always continually deal with the consequences of the shit that comes to you. If you cannot deal with your motherfucking consequences, you're not an adult. And if you cannot build and overcome out of your consequences to your actions and make the necessary changes and transmute them accordingly to be beneficial to your life, you will never be free. And if you're never going to be free, you're always going to be in a space where you just want to picket sign and riot and protest and do all this shit just so you can avoid oppression. Not so you can have freedom. And don't forget to check out Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Cafe Clothing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Yeah, man, freedom ain't free. And it ain't cheap. Shit's expensive as fuck, but a lot of people don't want to pay the cost of shit. I mean, they want the work. They want the aftermath. They want the rewards of everything, but they don't want to go through the groundwork to put this shit in. You feel what I'm saying? Because freedom is, it's different. it's like it's a lot of sacrifice because like a lot of the freedom is gonna seem like captivity, like in the beginning, because it's like, damn, I can go back to oppression and be good. Nah, once you get that freedom of yourself, and it's like, can't nobody tell me shit. You feel me? And if you do tell me shit, bitch, I can tell you something back. I ain't got to just take the shit because I'm in this certain space where you control and dictate certain things about me. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. It ain't gonna work like that. But going forward, you have to look at yourself like that. If you are, you feel me? If you're new and you're one of the young bulls here, and you've been in a space, or bullets, my bad, one of the young men or the young ladies, non-binary, however, and you in a space where you like, you know what, it's time for me to be woke and be for my people and stuff. Ask yourself, for whatever it is you about to stand for, do the people that I'm trying to involve myself actually want to be free, or do they just want to stop being oppressed? Listen to the energy, listen to the mannerisms, listen to how they maneuver. You feel me? And distance yourself. I learned to only start fucking with people when it comes to certain shit. I learned to only fuck with people who want to be free. I don't really give a fuck about people who only just want oppression to stop. You feel me? I reached that reality a long time ago. The shit ain't gonna stop. The fuck? The sole fact that motherfuckers is like, yo, when is it gonna stop? Let you know that it's not. If in your lifetime you're still asking when is it gonna stop, it's not stopping in your lifetime. So charge it to the game and figure out the best way to keep maneuvering. Right? I don't like this shit is like when the rituals happen where we get shot unarmed or whatever, like those things don't surprise me anymore. It's not like this because I don't care about like they do that to make sure you guys still align. Yeah, it sucks that our people are dying. It sucks that our people, they be unarmed and don't shit be happening to them. Like they really just be getting murdered for nothing. You dig what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's what happens when you only fight for the fight to stop being oppressed. It's like, well, what kind of oppression do you want us to stop? The one where we keep you out of jobs, the one where we redline you and keep you from getting good houses and shit, good credit things. Uh, like what do you want to stop? Us killing you? Like, do you really like? Because are you gonna stop it? Is the question. Because as long as you fighting to stop being oppressed, you want the villain to save the hero. But then when you want freedom, the hero has to defeat the villain. The hero does not give a fuck what has to happen. They're going to defeat the villain. But in the oppressive side, you just want the villain to stop beating your ass. Fuck no. Fuck no. To his last whimper, the fucking Green Goblin was trying to kill Spider-Man on until he died. Till he ultimately killed himself. You feel me? And I think, in a sense, that's largely what I think black people want to happen. Oh, the oppressors are eventually going to kill themselves. Not when it's a calculated thing, bro. This is a systemized thing that works. They're not going to kill themselves off and get a moral compass and say, no, it's profitable. There is no morality when profit is involved. There is no morality when profit is involved. You don't believe me? Look at a motherfucker who's willing to stay on the job and turn a blind eye to some shit because of the benefits of the job or whatever the case may be. You got a motherfucker that's being shitted on right motherfucker now that you know of or whatever the case may be. And you're not going to say shit to a why because it ain't got shit to do with you. You know why? Because that's not specifically oppressing you right there. You dig what I'm saying? So is it really freedom that you want? You feel me? When you, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna wrap it up because I mentioned the redlining thing, right? I'm gonna show you an example of how powerful freedom is versus wanting to stop being oppressed, right? Oppression is, hey, stop redlining us. Like wanting the oppression to stop is stop redlining us in certain areas and certain places and shit. Um, Make sure that we have the same credit opportunities with it, rather than, I know they're not gonna stop redlining. So what I do is I have to buy property in a space that's not redlined and use that as my hub for my addresses so I can guarantee that I get good credit options whenever I run my use my address. You know what it takes to do that, to get property in a place that requires you to have good credit, requires you, there's a lot of things that has to go into you locking down a place where you can't get redlined. But once you lock that down, you don't get redlined. Now you can put that address on everything and you don't have to suffer from getting bad credit scores or different things like that. Well, you're gonna, whatever your credit is, your credit is. But when your address there, you don't have to worry about being redlined for certain shit because your zip code is good. Where you are is good. You feel me? That's freedom. That's just one small dynamic and aspect to actual freedom versus wanting oppression to stop. I don't give a fuck about red lines no more. I know that they're real. I know that they're not going to stop. You know why they're not going to stop? Because they're not going to change on a accord that you are the one person who may be aware of this particular thing, and it's just like, oh, let's no, fuck that. You know how many ignorant motherfuckers is oblivious to the shit that we can still capitalize on? No, this shit'll never stop. That's what freedom is. Seeing the situation playing out, knowing what's what, and not giving up, but then figuring out a way around that. Now I get it. I shouldn't have to go and buy. You shouldn't have to, but motherfucker, you do. Now, if you're gonna really be free, you're gonna have to remove the limitations in the domain of your reality. That's a limitation. Redlining is a limitation that we can't control. You know why? Because we choose to live culturally around the people that we choose to live around. You feel what I'm saying? But in order for like, we have to like, I'm not saying go out and live around the oppressor. I'm saying have an address that is a hub. You can motherfucking get the shit and rent the bitch out and just use the address. And then when the mail comes in, you tell the resident, whoever it is, hey, look, just push this mail to the side or whatever the case may be, just so you can have the hub. You feel me? But that's what freedom is. That's what freedom is. And if we understood this for real, and we actually took shit into shit and we did what was necessary to remove the limitations, a lot of things would start to change for us. And we wouldn't be in a space where we have integrated it. See, that integration was the perfect example of that. We just wanted to stop being oppressed. So we integrated lost businesses and started being educated by our enemies. And now we hate ourselves. So much so, we literally voted for eight, like 80-year-olds, man. They're not even built for normal shit. We got an 80-year-old running the fucking presidency because we feel like, yo, we just had to vote because so somebody could, like, no. If we keep that, our perspective is as long as we keep voting, we have representation, and we, long as we vote, we can control our oppression as best as possible. No, you can't, motherfucker. They're not gonna stop oppressing you. They just not. They just not. Because they know how easy it is to oppress you because you don't want freedom. You don't want freedom because it requires too much to be free because it's expensive. It's sad, but it's easy. I always say that capitalism works because motherfuckers are ignorant and lazy. Now I'm going to add on to that. It works because motherfuckers are ignorant and lazy and they don't desire to be free. And then you get mad at the motherfucker. Ooh, these people have amassed billions and they won't help anybody who did absolutely nothing. Do you know what it takes to amass billions? I have to create something that can serve a billion motherfuckers. I don't fuck with Bill Gates. I don't fuck with Bezos. I don't fuck with none of them. But these motherfuckers have solved the motherfucking problem. They have created freedom by removing a limitation to something. And motherfuckers just want you to, they just expect them to just give their money free. That they actually solve the problem for the world. They solve problems for the world. Big problems. You feel what I'm saying? For everybody in the world. So why would you expect them to just give you something? Again, it shows how people just don't want to be oppressed. They don't want freedom. Because it's not until you actually achieve some shit and you put in the work behind a whole slew of things of systemized shit to say, I ain't giving this shit away for free. Fuck y'all. You feel me? I'm not just going to give this money away because motherfuckers don't want to do anything with themselves. Because motherfuckers don't want to be free. You feel me? Then you have people like, you see like Shark Tank. These are people who are investing in people who want to be free. I know that you want to come out and be on the free side. I see you. You're trying to do, you're removing your limitations. You just need that cushion. The cushion that I have because I've already done it several times over. So now, like, that's where that bridge is. But it's motherfuckers who do absolutely nothing but complain on social media all fucking day who want to be bailed out of shit. They don't want freedom. And these are the people that we have to try to realize that we're building with. It's scary. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Freedom is expensive. And any motherfucking body who doesn't want to pay the price of freedom, I can't fuck with them. You feel me? Because if you just want to stop being oppressed, you'll lead me into oppression by sabotaging my freedom. But I'm going to go to end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And our kids, we need to teach them early the difference between freedom and oppression. And don't program in them to fight to avoid oppression. Show them how to be free. Show them what it takes to be free with the limitations and overcoming limitations and solidifying themselves in some shit, and help them to grow to solidify some shit before the age of 18 that they can say, you know what? I got this for me. This is what makes me free. You feel me? I hate the shit about free spirited motherfuckers who, I'm free spirited. No, you're not. Because even that's expensive. Because now you're 100% accountable and responsible for your soul. You can't put no shit on no deity. You can't put no shit on no good deity or no bad deity for your shit. You got to own 100%. So those free spirits who just out here doing reckless shit, again, they're the type of motherfuckers who just want oppression to stop. Don't judge me for doing fucked up shit. No, I don't do shit that I feel I should be judged for. Anything that you see me do, anything that I do, I don't give a fuck about if a motherfucker judge or not. Like, that don't matter to me. Because your thoughts behind what the fuck I'm doing is your belief about what it is that I do is completely oblivious to me. Like, I have no idea I don't even care. Because it makes no sense to me. Because I'm focused on freedom. So I don't give a fuck how long it takes to be free. I'm gonna be free. Fuck y'all. You feel what I'm saying? But I want our kids to be in that same space, to where they're not going saying, oh, I got to get a good job, which means that you now have to mold your child to be tamed and behave well in order to move in the space where they're not oppressed. I don't give a fuck. I want my children to be free. To where if they are in a space where, oh, y'all don't like us here, oh, we out. I'm not about to throw a tantrum and record and tell y'all, we out, bro. Hey, look, I'm not paying for this. Oh, this is the vibe we on? Ding, check, please. We go eat somewhere else. We move somewhere else. Like, I'm not even paying for this shit. You got me fucked up. We out. Straight like that. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want to have to be in the space where, oh, we're recording. It's live. Fuck that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not just recording some shit under the play. Like, yo, I'm either gonna beat your ass and you can record that, or I'm gonna get the fuck out of there. We gotta stop putting our babies in these situations, because now our babies are growing up thinking, oh, now it's like I'm the better person because I allow them to bully me. No, bro, I see what the problem is and I'm getting the fuck out of here. Freedom. Freedom. You feel me? It's different. When I have kids, I have to homeschool my kids. I'll be damned if I'm gonna send them to, like, look at the climate. The fuck? But in order to be able to homeschool my kids, what do I have to do? Right? I have to put myself in a position where I can be home. What do I have to, like? There's things that freedom is fucking expensive. You feel me? And if you learn to start paying the cost early, you can pay it. When you learn to start paying the cost early, you can balance the checkbook a lot better. Feel me? So if you teach the kids early, teach the babies early how to utilize this resource, utilize their resources of freedom, and tap in, they'll be free adults. And then they can start to change the world rather than being oppressed people complaining about, when is it gonna stop? Never, motherfucker. Adjust. Feel me? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm gonna see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.